Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Please.
Thank you.
तो मोरे मोरे
Yes.
बोलते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं?
More.
मोरे ही बोलते
Yes.
हैं। तो मोरे साहब, आप कहाँ से आ रहे हैं?
Ma'am, I'm coming from Nanded district of the Maharashtra.
नांदेड़, it's a very famous district.
Yes, ma'am.
What is it known for?
It is known for the Gurudwara, the
Gurudwara,
one of
yeah.
the Takht in the Sikhism, the Sachkhand Takht.
Very well known.
Yes, ma'am.
Consider the Sikhs reached down south.
Yes, ma'am.
From the north, they went south also.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, that's not important. So tell me, what is your favorite subject? Subject, Vishay,
Okay, subject. Ma'am, we can talk about the organic farming.
organic.
I did field studies in the organic farming recently.
Okay. So this organic farming, you don't use chemical fertilizers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the good quality of organic farming? The quality is in the product.
Okay. Ma'am, organic farming have advantage on the two sides. One is on the environmental side, and
Right.
another on the product side.
Right.
In the product side, we get the poison-free food. That the residues that is used to in the conventional farming because of the pesticides and the fertilizers is
Right.
not there in the produce of
Liquid.
the organic farm.
But you tell me that organic farming, suppose I produce cauliflower, bhindi, anything,
Okay.
right? So what happens that it's very expensive comparison,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
So you do organic, good quality, everything, but the cost is high.
Yes.
So the poor fellow who has about 10 rupees or something, he can't afford.
Yes.
That what should we do for that?
Ma'am, I would say in case of the organic farming, the yield initially drops for few years, but after that yield picks up.
Picks up.
The same happened in the Sikkim as well.
Okay.
For few years initially the yield was down, but now they have achieved the yield which were used to be in the conventional farming.
Right.
So after 4-5 years, I would say there will be the reduction
be
in
all
the
right.
cost. And currently the availability of the organic produce is very less. If more farmer picks up the organic farming, then there will be the availability of the organic produce in the market
Be higher.
be higher, and that
Okay. Have you heard of the International Court of Justice?
would yes.
Right? So there has been some selection. Have you seen that in the newspaper? Our man has become the chair. Our Indian.
Ma'am,
You
I
didn't
think I
read.
missed that news.
You
I
should
will
check
read
it out.
Yes,
because
ma'am, I will read.
It's a big pride that an Indian person has made it.
I will read it.
Right? Okay. Now you tell me about traffic congestion. Congestion on the road. What to do about it? You're a magistrate. You have so many things to do.
Mhm. For the traffic congestion, first of all, we should increase, or we should focus on our public transportation system. For example, wherever there is a efficient public transportation system, the traffic is less. This is first thing. Second thing, there are alternate models of urbanization. For example, the neighborhood design, the transit oriented development, in which they focus on the reducing the transportation time in the city, the commutation time in the city, such that they develop the office spaces, workplaces very near to our residential places. Yes, so that will eventually solve the problem of the traffic. And also there are technological solutions, the smart management of the traffic. For example, the signal system, for example, the IoT, machine learning, and the big data used in the traffic management.
Right, sir?
Thank you, madam.
Yeah.
Well, shall I call you More or Shivhar?
Sir, Shivhar. My
Shivhar.
first name is
Shivhar, good morning.
Good morning.
You are from Maharashtra.
Yes.
Now, Maharashtra ranks number 1 in GSDP.
Yes, sir.
SGDP, it is number 1 in
Yes,
the
yes.
country. But still, there are a lot of regional imbalances.
Right, sir.
Vidarbha region, Western Marathwada region, they
Yes.
suffer from chronic problem of
Yes, sir.
crop failures, water shortage, and suicides, farmer suicide,
Right, sir.
ranking number 1 in the country. So why this? How this regional imbalance can be, corrected in your opinion? What government of Maharashtra should be doing, and which it is not doing? When you have resources,
Yes,
so
sir.
why those resources cannot be channelized
Mhm.
to correct that regional imbalance?
Sir, in my opinion, what Maharashtra should be doing is the district-based developmental model.
Little up.
The district-based developmental model, where there should be the planning of every district at the district level, mapping the resources and mapping the potential of the district and channelizing the resources in achieving the potential at the district level. That is first thing. Second thing, when it comes to the regional imbalances, the Western Maharashtra is quite industrially prosperous, and because of that the imbalance happens. And in case of the Vidarbha and the Marathwada, industry is not that much. So I think we should go for the industries, that the agro-based industries, in which the Marathwada and Vidarbha has a huge potential. Third thing is, sir, lack of infrastructure. For example, in the Western Maharashtra, the Koyna Dam, the construction of the Koyna Dam and availability of the power was a game changer for availability of the power for the industry, and because of that industry flourished. And some sort of infrastructure lacking in the Vidarbha and the Marathwada. Nowadays we are seeing the road development in the Marathwada and Vidarbha, so I would like to extend that to the power and other sectors as well. And lastly, sir, there is also issue of political will, because sir, in Western Maharashtra, which is quite a sugarcane belt, the cooperative sector is quite well developed in this region compared to the Marathwada and the Vidarbha.
Now, okay, right, good. Suppose you are district magistrate or district collector of Chandrapur district, which is a part of Vidarbha region. So, what action would you take to ensure that farmer suicide doesn't happen or minimized?
Okay, sir.
Just 2-3 quick actions.
Okay, sir. So first, it's providing all inputs to the farmers at the reasonable rate. For example, the seed, fertilizers, all these things. Second is, when they get the produce, the farmer face double whammy, one on the production side and other on the after the harvest. So I would like to provide them a good quality market for the produce and also go for the value addition in their produce. And thirdly, sir, there is a huge expenditure on the social spending in Vidarbha and the Marathwada, like the daughter's marriage, like the dowries. So I would like to make awareness about that, so there is no need of spending such a huge huge expenditure, which will eventually lead into the debt trap.
Good. Now, you have worked with the one NGO called Spandan.
Yes, sir.
What was your role in that NGO?
Sir, the Spandan was a college-based NGO from my college, and my responsibility was mainly coordinating the activities outside the campus. That outside the campus, we visit various other Vradhashram and also the ashram of the blind schools.
Okay.
So I was a coordinator of all these activities.
Very good. So how do you see role of NGOs and civil society in administration, governance, and development once you become district magistrate? How much role would you assign them at your district?
Sir, I see the role of NGOs at the 3 levels. First is the policy formulation, where the inputs from the NGOs can be very much effective in the policy of the formulation because they work at the ground level. Second is the policy implementation. The NGOs can be roped in for the implementation of the policy because they have the last mile worker. For example, sir, in the tribal development, there is a PVTG, the scheme for the PVTGs, in which we rope in with the NGOs, the development for the PVTGs. They go there and they build school and health infrastructure for the PVTGs. And lastly, the scope of the policy evaluation, because they can be the good interlocutor between the state and the citizens to solve the various grievances about the policies and reform the policy accordingly.
Now, in 2020, there were some amendments in FCRA.
Right.
What are your views on that?
Sir, the amendment mostly curtailed to the funding and the regulation of the NGOs. So I would say the amendment were in the good spirit, that there was an allegation that some NGOs were acting as a foreign policy tools for some other countries. So I think that kind of regulation should be there, and it was quite a facilitative regulation.
Okay, good. Now, my last question is from your subject anthropology. How do you see the socio-economic condition of tribals in your own state, Maharashtra, and whether the government of India's developmental funds are reaching them at a desired level or not?
Sir, the same issue of regional inequality applies to the tribal of Maharashtra as well. If we see the tribals of the region, like the Palghar region, the Thane district, which are in the western Maharashtra, their condition is quite well improved, and recently the Palghar district was also created for the better development of the tribals. But when it comes to the tribals in the Vidarbha and the Marathwada and my own district, Nanded, so there are issues of the health, education, the displacement, the land alienations for the tribals. And when it comes to the funds reaching towards the tribal, sir, in Maharashtra, there is a scheduled areas for the tribals, and in that scheduled areas government's funds are reaching quite well, and there are models like the Mendhaleka tribal village, which was quite famous for the implementation of the PESA.
What is the government of India's mechanism of reaching those funds? What is
Sorry,
the
sir?
financial? What is the financial, that instrument through which developmental funds reach tribals?
So tribal sub-plan.
Tribals.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Shivhar, continuing on the topic of anthropology, I would like to know that from instrumentation and control, how did you switch over to anthropology? And why only anthropology, not anything else like sociology or some other logy? Why anthropology?
So after the graduation, I was searching for the optionals, and among the 22 optionals, there is no optional which directly relate to my discipline, instrumentation and the control. So that was one reason for searching other optional. And when it comes to the particular anthropology, sir, I saw the syllabus of anthropology, and I felt that I could manage that syllabus in 3-4 months. That is one thing. And recently, for few years, anthropology scoring is quite well, and my seniors also advise that there are the resources available and the material available in anthropology is quite well. Yes,
I mean, you utilize a lot of information from different sources
right.
to arrive at that. Did you rule out other logies like psychology or sociology?
Sir, I figured out about 3 subjects. First is geography, then PSIR, political science and international relations, and then anthropology. Then among this,
Anthropology is better.
yes,
Time management wise also it's good.
yes, sir,
I
time
understand.
management is good.
Okay. But tell me that everybody is talking about coal problem.
Yes,
But what I read more in the newspaper, more I get confused. Especially the statement of politicians, the statement of government, the statement of private players, the statement of various state governments.
yes.
Do we have an issue there or there is no issue at all about coal?
Sir, in my opinion, there is a issue with respect to the coal.
Issue is what related to?
I think there are 2-3 issues. First is there is a there is issues in the import, because with the Russia and the Ukraine war, Russia and Ukraine used to be the supplier of the coal in the international market. So because of the prices went in the international market, lack of supply. Second is also the logistical issues. The government, the railways.
What about our own production? Can we not step up the production?
Definitely, sir. We should.
Or
step
has
up
it
the
gone
production.
down? What to say of step up?
Sir, I think for time being, we should step up the production. Because eventually our target is to going the carbon neutral by 2017. So for the time being, we should step up the production, and at the same time, we should also increase our renewable energy production as well.
Okay, so this is about the production side.
Yes.
What are the other facets of the same problem?
Sir, the logistical sector, the transportation of the coal from the mines to the power plant or other users of the coal. That is one thing. And sir, there is also a problem that during the COVID lockdown, there was not quite amount of production in the coal because of the lockdown and the closure of the mines. And because of that, there was not a stockpile of the coal. And on the demand side, sir, after the lockdown, the economic recovery, the demand increased hugely, and also with the heat wave.
Tell me some long-term solution for the coal problem. Think about it.
Okay, sir.
Take your time.
So specific to the coal issue.
Oh yeah, only coal.
Okay. So in my opinion, for the long term, we should be Atmanirbhar in the coal production rather than going for the import. So for that, sir, there should be efficient mining of the coal, the proper auctioning of the blocks, and we should allow the private player participation in the coal. Currently, around more than 70% of the coal is mined by the Coal India Limited. So inclusion of the private player should be there. And another thing is, sir, there is also coal-based gas. There is also one technology in which they convert the gas out from the coal, and that could also be used as a substitute for the coal.
Yeah, Mr. Shivhar,
Yes.
from which area you would like me to ask question, whether state, optional subject, anthropology or current affairs?
So current affairs.
Okay, related with current affairs.
Okay.
So you might be knowing about cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Why? First thing, why it is named so. Second thing, which are the risks involved in using cryptocurrency.
Okay, sir.
Third, whether at all we need the global framework for regulating cryptocurrency.
So first thing, why it is called as cryptocurrency?
That's right.
Sir, it basically deals with the cryptography. There is a cryptographic code behind that, the blockchain technology, which is the base of the cryptocurrency.
Right.
Second thing, the risk associated around it. The first is there is no regulator for the cryptocurrency. It is decentralized currency, so that might be a problem. Second thing, sir, there is no KYC norms for the cryptocurrency, so that can be we don't know from where it is sourced and where it is going. So that can be used for the anti-national activities or for the hacking purposes. And
That's right. Yeah, terror financing, money
terror
laundering,
financing, yes, sir.
like
Many ransomware attack demands the money in the bitcoins.
So
Because there
then
are
we
no-
need the global framework for regulating cryptocurrency, isn't it?
Sir, to some extent, I think it would be very difficult because the basic premises of the cryptocurrency is decentralization. So for the decentralized currency, it will be very difficult to regulate it. But one thing we can do,
Not to check that the terror financing, money laundering, such type
Yes,
of
sir.
problems.
yes, sir, for
So
such type of
country alone cannot do,
yes, sir, for such
cannot
type
do
of problem-
anything, but global, entire world as a whole. If there is a global framework for regulating this, then that can definitely help.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. There should be a regulation.
Okay.
for the
Second
particular
thing,
sector.
our finance minister, who is finance minister?
Sorry,
Our
sir?
finance minister,
Finance Minister,
finance minister.
Nirmala Sitharaman.
Yeah, he said that we want to be West friend, WEST, West friend, but we need Russia too. What does this mean? We want to be West's friend, but we need Russia too. Where she said like that, and what does that actually mean?
Sir, I'm not recollecting exactly where did she
Okay,
say,
no problem.
but the meaning of that.
Few days
Sir,
back only, she said, 2-3 days back. Anyway, that's
She
not
was
very
in the
important.
United
Now you tell
States.
me what exactly that means. We want to be West friend, but need Russia too.
Okay, sir. Sir, she said that we need the strong relation, strategic, economic, and trade relations with the Western countries. But at the same time, our relation with the Russias are also very important. And the reasons are that the defense relations with the Russia, the import dependence on the Russia, and another also, sir, the Russia has been a very good friend of India for on the multiple fronts. And when it comes to the Western side, the India is more economically integrating with the West when it comes to the service sector, when it comes to the trade and signing of the FTAs with the Western countries. So for that, we need the West.
Okay, come to FTA. Huh?
Okay, sir.
So first of all, you will tell me what exactly you mean by free trade agreement, and then you will tell that with which countries we have signed free trade agreement and with which countries we are going to sign it within another 3-4 months, and even after that there are some countries who are in pipeline. Which are those countries?
Okay, sir. The first is FTAs are the trade agreement in which there will be a preferential market access for the for the products of the respective countries in the respective markets. And when it comes to the recently, India signed the FTAs with the UAE and also Australia. And currently, they said that till the October, the FTA with the United Kingdom will be signed. And also yesterday, the European Union Commissioner was in Delhi. So she said that they are starting the renegotiation of the FTAs with the European Union by June of this year. And last question, sir.
Who is she? What is her name?
Sir,
European Commission President.
Sir, Ursula was.
Yeah, full name.
Sir, I have not
Anyway, that's good enough.
Yes.
Okay.
And sir,
Yeah, please go ahead.
sir, I am not recollecting the exact names of the country which are in the pipeline for the FTA.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.